Oh yeah, what up? What up? You know what it is, man. It's pretty dope. Flash. It's all over. Season finale. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Lay Ill Kid, aka OneYoungsta. This is Chopping It Up Geek with my boy Avery.
What's good, world? What's good? How's everyone going on this fine hump day?
yeah. Right now we're gonna break it down on the Flash finale. We might also touch on the season itself, but we're here to talk Flash finale, man. First up, before we even get started, I loved the finale. I really enjoyed it. How about you, Avery?
Hey, I'm falling in your shoes, man. I really enjoyed it, really liked it, and it had some nice little twists there.
Word. All right, now during the finale, if you haven't watched the whole season and just came in on the last couple of episodes, the Flash has been dealing with this character named Zoom the whole season. And he was from another Earth, and he was trying to like capture Flash's speed, and just to be the fastest man alive, and then also to kind of like control all of the, you find out that he wants to control all of the Earths and like completely destroy all of them. So there's only one Earth left, and he's the only one left. A real Highlander kind of feel. And dude is like super evil. Dude is like he has no love lost for life. So he's a pretty decent villain, man. Pretty formidable. So this episode, it was dope to see some nice twists and turns. So let's get into, as far as twists and turns, one thing that I think we should touch on is the fact that the Flash team, or hashtag Team Flash, actually locked up the Flash, which was pretty... That threw a curve on me. How'd you feel about that, Avery?
That was a real big curve. Like, for the whole season, when they would show Zoom prison in the waterfall area, you had a guy with a mask on, and he Morse code the word J. And so you're thinking, well, maybe it's another J that looks like with Zoom, because Zoom was going by the name J. Garrick. So you're sitting there thinking, oh, it's just another guy that looks like him. But you never knew what he looked like. And then when they finally took the helmet off of him, and of course he looks like Barry Allen's dad. And then he also reveals that he's from Earth 3, a whole nother Earth. And then Zoom even revealed that, hey, I was so busy being bad. Let me just for giggles, let me go and be the actual hero, act like I'm a hero. And he took on the Earth 3 Flash's persona and was prancing around like he was him.
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
So that's nothing but good writing, editing, and just where a show throws you for a curveball. And I'm very happy and gracious when a show does that, because you couldn't even predict that. That was really good.
Yeah, man, it definitely took some twists and turns that I didn't expect. Like, now the J thing, when he tapped out the letter, and I think Caitlin at the time was like, all right, I got a J. I was like, oh snap, I bet you it's Jay Garrick, like the real Jay Garrick, because there's an episode when they're looking around for the fake Jay Garrick's doppelganger to try to like find a cure for the Velocity 9. They find the guy, but Caitlin sees that his name is Hunter Zolomon. So, all the viewers, all the people that read the comics were like, oh, snap. But, Caitlin doesn't know no better. She's just, she's in love with this, young strapping guy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, she ain't know no better. But we knew, like, once the dude, like, tapped out the letter J, we knew that was Jay Garrick. And then later on, the cool
I'm gonna
thing.
be truthful, I didn't know.
Oh, word?
Yeah, like,
oh, okay.
The way the episode was, Zoom was still, the guy that we thought was Jay Garrick was still good. He hadn't let anybody know at that time that he was bad. And they were talking about how come we can never, at the time they were talking about trying to heal him.
Yeah.
And they were like, trying to find his doppelganger and get some of his genetic material. And then when they found him, his name is Hunter Zolomon on this earth. So for me, being a strict Flash reader during the late 90s through the early 2000s, Hunter Zolomon ended up being Zoom in the comic book. he was a profiler for the FBI. His ex-wife's dad, who was like the head of their department, got killed, and it caused him and his wife to break up, and he ended up becoming a profiler for Central City or whatever, where Wally West is. And he ended up getting his back snapped by Gorilla Zod, and he wanted Wally to go and use the cosmic treadmill to go back in time and prevent the accident. Well, Wally said no, so he went and tried to get on the cosmic treadmill on his own. It blew up when he did it, even though he was crippled, and it caused him to exist on a different time plane, but it was like he could move fast. So he took up the name Zoom to be the Flash's greatest enemy from his profiling skills, because he had profiled the Flash's enemies. He had heard about Professor Zoom, a.k.a. the Reverse Flash, Ibram Bond.
Yeah.
So when they did that on the show, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So they kind of melded what's going on with the new 52 with the old 52, kind of sort of on the one to give us Zoom.
Yeah, man, it was definitely dope. And like they, Zoom comes through. He kills, in the episode leading up, he kills Barry's father. But before that episode, maybe about 3 episodes ago, I can't remember, his father made a mention of his mother's maiden name being Garrick. And I was like, oh snap. I was like, so technically the Flash was always destined to be the Flash, like no matter what. And even on top of that, when the whole episode with him speaking with the Speed Force was like it was just so dope, because it was like the Speed Force was just revealing stuff to him, just dropping jewels. And I mean, I was just impressed at like the level of care the creators are taking and putting into this show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you can tell they enjoy working on this show. And they're really putting some top quality work into it. So back to the episode. Let's see, what's some other stuff. All right, well they jailed the Flash because they were like, yo, look, we don't want
your head's not in the game.
Yeah,
his head won't in the game.
Yeah, he was too angry about his father dying. They were like, look, we want to pretty much pack him away so he doesn't do anything that could make this situation worse, which is racing Zoom, which is what Zoom wanted him to do, because Zoom wanted to power whatever this machine was, and I can't think of the name of the machine, but he wanted to power the machine so that he could destroy the other worlds. So even though they found that out, Flash was like, I'm still going to do it anyway. So they trank him, they lock him up, and they come up with their own plan to stop Zoom. And to a certain degree, it kind of works, but they have, of course, it's a TV show, so there's got to be, there's a slight little hiccup, and that slight little hiccup is Zoom ending up taking Flash's Joe. Yeah, I was about to say Flash's surrogate father, Joe, which is such a great relationship. Taking Joe up into the second Earth and pretty much like holding him hostage until they can pretty much race with Flash again, which is prompted by Wally freeing the Flash from the jail that Team Flash put him in. So that whole scene right there was really dope, because you got to see the Flash team kind of working without their ace in the hole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to a certain degree, they almost got it. They almost got it working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They almost pulled it off.
If it weren't for TV, it would have worked.
Yeah, they almost pulled it off. It was close, but then, of course, you have the issue with, something's got to go wrong. So after that, they pulled.
One thing I liked about this episode.
Oh, what's up?
With the whole the time remnant thing.
Oh yeah.
The time remnant. Like when I saw Zoom running and then another Zoom showed up, I had forgot that Zoom had said that he killed his former self. I don't know how time doesn't collapse on itself from all of that, or he just don't fade out of existence. The first time they were trying to close the breaches, and he put his hand through Jay when they thought he was a good guy. So Zoom was running with Barry at the beginning, and he created the double and stuff, the time remnant. And then Barry ended up using the same trick on him later to help stop the diatron or whatever it was, that machine that he had.
Yeah.
And then the time remnant sacrificed itself.
Yep.
But then you saw that the Speed Force race come and take Zoom. So yeah, that was dope.
That was something that really threw me off, because when the time race came through the portal, I was like, well, who are they coming for? Because both of them have broken time rules. You know what I'm saying? Both of these guys have broken some rules, and even Barry said it. I was just pretty much gambling on the fact that they want him more than they wanted me. You know what I'm saying? And they came, they snatched his butt up, and it like sucked all the energy from whatever. Dude looked like a zombie. He looked like the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt by the time they took him back.
Yeah.
But
so are they time race or are they Speed Force?
I thought they were time race, but maybe not.
I thought they were Speed Force race because they looked like they had like a black Flash suit on, kind of, sort of. And I thought that Zoom had kind of absorbed some type of power from him. That's why he had that deep voice sometimes, like it was like an evil entity that took over his voice.
Yeah, and oh, shouts to the dude that does the voice for Zoom this whole season, like
Tony Todd.
Like, man,
Tony Todd.
Yeah, his voice is definitely scary to the mug. Like, if that dude calls you on the phone, like, you are not gonna have a good day.
I had the pleasure of meeting him before and chilling with him for a little bit. He's a cool dude. Played a few characters on Star Trek.
Word.
And was the Fallen in Transformers 2.
Oh yeah.
And he was the Morgue guy in the Final Destination.
Okay.
And what's that scary movie? The guy with the hook.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
No. The black guy with the hook that like brought back to life killing people. They brought 2 of the movies out back in like the early 90s.
You talk about Candyman?
Yeah, he was Candyman. Tony Todd was Candyman.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right, word.
So.
Cause I was like, man, with the hook. I was like, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
But yo, man, this episode, like the way it's a trip because we've covered about half of the episode, but there's still so much more to do.
Yeah.
All right, so the time wraiths or the Speed Force race, they come. They get Zoom, but not before Flash dishes out a nice little butt whooping. Like, dude proved that he was the fastest because dude just like got nasty on him real quick. He hit him with a 2-piece, like gave him an elbow and stuff.
Him up a couple of times.
Yeah, he
took him up a couple of times.
Yeah, he rolled him up pretty nicely. And after that, the cool thing is they go back to Earth 2. And they rescue the guy that was in the
Man in the Iron Mask.
The Man in the Iron Mask. They take it off, and of course, you know who it is. And I even said it. I was like, that's gonna be Flash Daddy, right? And I was like, like we knew it because it's like it's the best way. This is the best way to kill characters without killing them. Like, I mean, you saw Laurel come back,
and keep actors around.
So you saw Laurel come back, you know what I'm saying? Now you see that, Daddy Flash is still there, but he's Jay Garrick. And it was cool to see him, the second they took off the mask, dude still had the powers. And it was like, that was, just letting you know, like, dude still got it. And it's cool to see him, in the gray, pimping it out with the old suit. And I just think this will be a great opportunity for him to have a, more of a, I guess you could say, a kind of like mentor relationship.
Yeah. But Barry got to get over that grief first because Barry was having issues with him being his dad from another Earth because his dad just died. It just spitting image of the dude.
Yeah.
And this also served as a nostalgic memory moment for me because I used to watch the Flash show that came out in 1990. And of course, the guy that plays Barry's dad is the dude that played the Flash back then.
Word.
So to see him pick up the mantle as Jay Garrick from Earth 3, I was just like, it gave me goosebumps. And I'd like to give a shout out to DC. DC been getting a lot of hate lately for other actions that they've been doing. But one thing I can say on the TV show,
they killing it.
If they do a TV show, they do bring older people from previous iterations of shows or movies back into the fold. Like on Smallville, they had Christopher Reeves on there.
Oh, word?
Margaret Kidder, the woman that played Lois, was on there a couple of episodes. The mom who played Mom Kent played Lana Lang in Superman 3. Let's see, who else? Oh, the guy that played Jimmy Olsen played a hidden Kryptonian.
Okay.
The one that played Jimmy Olsen in the movie. So they even had Dean Cain on there episode. So they always kind of keep the old families in the fold. So I mean, from the beginning of the show, they had the guy that played the original Flash in the '90s series.
All right.
In there, as, Flash's father. So to see him take up the mantle as Jay Garrick was cool to see him he's running again with powers. And then also they brought Mark Hamill back because Mark Hamill played the Trickster in the original Flash series, and then they brought him back, not as the same Trickster, but he was the Trickster again.
Yeah. In
this series. So it's nice that they kind of keep stuff in the fold.
So even, with that, they have, the situation where, with the different Earths, they can keep people on, and I'd really like to see that relationship grow depending on what we're about to get into next. So at the end of the episode, everybody's kind of happy, kind of celebrating, Jessie and her dad got to go home to their normal Earth. The Flash the Jay Garrick Flash got to go back, and everything seems right with the world. At the time, they're having a little relaxation at Joe's house. Barry wants to go outside for a little alone time. Iris comes out. There's a nice little exchange, and what do we get, Avery? What do we get?
Oh, "I'ma wait for you." They must have been listening to Prince. "I would die for you," but instead of saying "I would die for you," "I will wait for you." But before they went on the mission, she told him they said, let's try to pursue a relationship. But Barry, after his dad died and everything that preceded this that happened in this episode, he was like, "I'm too messed up right now. I'm no good for you."
Yeah.
And I need some time, just like you need some time. And then I was like, well, hey, that's how this episode going to end. But then they threw yet another curveball. Do you want to break it out, or do you want me to break the curveball?
Now, before that curveball,
okay,
we did get the payoff of a kiss.
Yeah.
They finally kissed.
Yeah.
They finally gave in and was like, look, we're destined to be together. You know what I'm saying? I was like, go ahead, get that chocolate, son. I see you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even mad at
since we two brothers, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen any outcry about there being an interracial kiss, or the fact that Iris is black versus being white? Because, in the comic book, Iris is white.
Yeah, I know. Ain't nobody. Look, there's a whole bunch of casting that people don't complain over.
We've known this the whole story. We've seen this the whole show, and not one time have we heard anything a la Johnny Storm, Fantastic Four, Finn in Star Wars. But I will keep this on the Flash. I wonder if that's because it's a woman, and due to her not being a black male, that's less threatening. And people got a problem with a black male that takes over a white male role.
Now that's interesting. I never looked at it that way. I always looked at it as long as the actor or actress is like really fine, nobody like complains. Like,
excuse me, but I'm not gay or nothing, but Michael B. Jordan be getting mad hits from women, and I don't think Finn looks like Boo Boo the Crown or Jerome off of Martin. So,
also, I think TV also lowers the stakes. Like, so, the crazy, racist nerds don't get all upset, when it's TV, because I guess to them TV isn't TV isn't as big because ain't nobody complain about Jimmy or not Jimmy.
He had Jimmy on Supergirl.
Yeah. Ain't nobody complain about him. Also, ain't nobody complain about Amanda Waller because Amanda Waller apparently done been in the gym because on the comic books, you know what I'm saying, for all these nerds to be like, it needs to be exactly like the Bucks. It needs to be exactly like the Bucks. Ain't nobody complain when they casted homegirl that's all fine to be Amanda Waller. Ain't nobody complain. I ain't hear a peep.
You talking about Pam Grier? You talking about Pam Grier in Smallville? Because Pam Grier played her in Smallville, but Pam Grier was the first black.
I'm talking about Shorty from Arrow.
Oh, I thought you meant Amanda Waller, the one playing her in the movie. My bad. We were talking about 3 different things.
Nah, that was Angela Bassett.
Yeah, and she's still fine. Yeah, but Amanda Waller is a big, portly woman.
Yep.
And I hate to say this, but when they had Pam Grier playing her on Smallville, yeah, she was on Smallville, Foxy Brown had put on some weight. I didn't even know it was Foxy Brown. He had finally caught up to her. I mean, she still looked good, but she was thicker than what I was used to seeing her as.
Yeah, but don't sleep on it, though. Don't sleep.
Oh, no. She probably put that with Hoosna on the brother and have him singing stars and sparkles and everything.
Yeah, because, you know what I'm saying, Shorty still, Pam Grier, you know what I'm saying, hashtag don't tell my wife, but, you know what I'm saying, she's still on point.
Foxy Brown.
Look, they ain't calling Foxy for nothing. But,
yeah.
But homie got that kiss. They finally kind of like, just dealt with the fact that we are destined to be together, and that's great. So,
one other thing that we missed, too. Cisco, I feel like really started to accept his role as Vibe and harness his powers more. I mean, I had missed that episode, but he can open up the breaches kind of more and control and stuff.
Yeah,
and he can also look into the other universes. He's not as unsure of himself. He's more confident, it seems, by the end of this episode.
Yeah, he was already kind of like leaning into that, but yeah. He was, because like that was, in these last, say, 3-4 episodes, he's been kind of like leaning into that, but it was good to see him kind of like coming to his own, and just like not be scared of it. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope.
Yeah.
But as far as the end, man, it was, she kissed him, she goes back inside, and we think everything's gonna end on a high note. And then the Flash runs off, and I'm like, well, maybe he's just going to burn some steam.
He says, "I'm sorry." He says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah. And we're thinking maybe he's going to blow off some steam, or maybe he's just going to leave for a little bit, or go to another Earth. Nope, this dude goes back in time, and we all know, at least people that read the books, we all know what's about to happen. And like on one hand, I'm excited for him because I'm like, this is something that he needs. He needs to save his mother. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, I know what he's about to put in motion. But
see, to me, I don't see how he's still existing, because if he saves his mother, how does he still become the Flash?
Well, see, that's what's about to happen in Flash Paradox. Because in the Flashpoint Paradox, like, notice, remember, he loses his powers.
Well, see, I didn't read that. Well, actually, I collected it, but I didn't get to read it because when I was collecting, I was real busy, and I didn't get to see the movie, the cartoon animation movie that was based on it. So I don't know. I figured that's what happened, but it changed, well, so much more than just him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which is what we need to go in and get into now, since we know he's changing the past and changing the future. And we know that Greg Berlanti now has 4 different superhero shows under the CW banner. What are your predictions for season 3 of The Flash, and season 2 of Supergirl, and season 2 of Legends, and season 5 of Arrow? Like, what are your predictions for the implications on the whole universe of the CW superhero?
For every actuality, there's always a probable reality. So there's a litany of things this could turn out to. They could take this change he did, and it could have an effect on all 4 shows at first. Well, I don't know how it would affect Supergirl since she's on another Earth. but maybe like Flash, League of Legends. Legends of Tomorrow, my bad. And Arrow could be affected by his change, and maybe the people from the crime ship in Legends of Tomorrow got to go help fix the seizure or whatever he did, and maybe somehow that causes them to have to go get Supergirl. Maybe this is what's the lead into the big crossover all 4 shows. Maybe that's how they start all the seasons off because of this.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. But when it comes to just Barry and Flash, I know it's going to take his powers away, but it's like, how is he going to be able to fix anything? And it's too, how would he be able to even remember? I just don't.
Because
it's so much.
He remembers mostly because he's a man out of time. Because he's displaced himself by doing this. So in this case, like, I think what's going to end up, what I'd like to happen is to see that this Flashpoint paradox affect all 4 shows, and all 4 shows have to kind of like work together to figure out how to fix this. You know what I'm saying?
And the one that's going to notice it is Legends of Tomorrow, because they have a time shift.
Yep. And I would like to see them kind of like get in touch with, you know, Flash, or try to find Flash and be like, yo, dude, you screwed everything up. Because this could also reset everything for them as far as fighting against
Vandal Savage and all that stuff.
So, this is a way where you can kind of like screw with everything for a whole season and kind of have this cool sort of.
Or it could also create like a destruction wave from him messing up time. There's so many possibilities that he could do.
Yeah. So I'm hyped. I'm excited, and I'm just, man, I couldn't be more hyped for it, man. For real. So, I guess in closing, man, how do you feel about The Flash? Should people watch it? Should people be excited for next season? What's your word on it?
It's terrible, and they should boycott it. No, I'm just playing. I really love the show. I enjoy it. They have a good balance between darkness a little bit and optimism, so you get kind of like the best of both worlds, And one thing I liked about the season finale, you actually saw the Flash actually kind of succumb to his anger and grief and hurt. Before, he always kind of got over it real quick and was all chipper and happy and this, that, and the third. This time, he was a pissed off MFer, and he wanted blood and was willing to do anything to get that blood, almost.
Yeah.
But his humanity still was there. He couldn't kill Zoom all cold-blooded like Zoom would. He didn't succumb to that. So it's a good show. I feel like the writers have really been doing a good job with it. I also believe another reason why they've been doing a good job with it, even though I haven't always seen Arrow, I've seen only a little bit of it, I think the writers learned their lessons from their lumps of Arrow. And so they've taken those lessons they learned since Arrow was the first show and have avoided and steer clear of those with Flash.
Yeah.
So hopefully season 3 doesn't drop off like a lot of people said season 3 did with Arrow.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good show. If you're open-minded and you're into comic books and the genre, you should check the show out, and it's not a waste of your time.
Word. Well, man, I agree, man. Love the show. Enjoy it, man. There's always some great effects, great acting, some great writing. Like, yo, man, I'm thoroughly pleased and thoroughly impressed with this show, man. I can't wait until next season. I think it's going to be some really cool stuff.
Ooh.
So
maybe because of him doing this, maybe some evil, some supernatural stuff are happening to bring a reason to bring your boy Constantine in too.
Okay, I see. Even though I think we're gonna see Constantine again, hopefully tonight on Arrow, which I'm missing right now, but I'll be able to check it out a little bit later. But I think we're gonna see Constantine tonight on Arrow, hopefully. If not, I'd love to see him come back, because that show and that actor, like, I still don't understand how that got canceled. Well, I mean, I understand the rating thing, but I feel like sometimes shows due to like the word of mouth, can get a second season and kind of find their footing. You know what I'm saying? But
like a Family Guy, Futurama did that route.
Yep. So, yo, man, I have to say it's a dope show. Excited for next season, man. It's gonna be on point. So, let's go and wrap this up. We both love the Flash, man. We both think y'all should definitely continue, stay tuned in to check it out for next season, because we think there's a lot of dope stuff coming. My man Avery, tell them where they can find you at, man.
Right now, I'm working. If you tune in to WRIR FM in Richmond, or go to WRIR.org, and look up Lightly on the Ground Radio. That's a show that I help engineer and occasionally you hear me on. And I'm in the works of trying to hopefully get my own comic book style and themed and geek themed, nerd themed, sci-fi, all one kit and caboodle type show. So be on the lookout for that. So that's how you can find me in, other iterations of this, chopping it up geek.
Word up. So. And I'd like to give a shout out to my boy Isaac, the dude does movie reviews, the Atomic Podcast, the Two Brandons Podcast, the Black Tribbles, everybody, Roberto Blake, Black Nerd, MKBHD, everybody out there doing your thing. And man, y'all stay up, stay real, stay strong.
Holla.
Peace.